Hey, sorry guys, I got cut off there. I clicked the wrong button. I was trying to get to this more tool button and it didn't work. So let me get there now. All right, so I'm trying to get to the pen tool. And it says again that triangle PRO is the pre-image. So I'm going to put a little PI here. And then that means that this triangle is the image. And so when they said PRO is the pre-image, that means that the point J corresponds to the point P. J is the image of P, and the point E is the image of the point R. So if J corresponds to P and E corresponds to R. Now, if you were following along with me before, and you remember how the image and the pre-image always have to fall on the same line, then to find the center of dilation will be very, very easy. This time I'm going to use my ray tool, but I'm going to work backwards. I'm going to use the ray tool to select a point on the image, like E, and its corresponding point on the pre-image. E corresponds to R. And so when I have E and R, then that's the path that E and R have to fall on. Same thing with the points J and P. So if I select J and P, then they both intersect at that point. Now, to prove that that point is something special, I'm also going to pick the point C and its pre-image O. And notice that now all 3 points intersect at that one, or all 3 lines rather, intersect at that same spot. That point right here is the center of the dilation. Now, I want to label it point T. So watch how I do this. I'm going to go ahead and click on that point. Click on the 3 little dots, show the settings for it, and I can change the name to point T. Hit enter, and I just got to get rid of that. Okay, so now I have my center of dilation is the point T. The second thing is to determine what the scale factor is. Now, the best way I know how to do that is like this. I'm going to put a little text box right here so I have a little note to myself. So here's what how a scale factor works. Scale factor is equal to image length divided by pre-image length. So image length divided by pre-image length, okay. And so what I mean by that is I'm going to determine one length of the image, and that can be done multiple ways, but I'll show you what I mean, or here's one of the ways that I can do it. I'm going to measure the length from the point T to the point C. From T to C is this length 11.8. Okay, and now I'm going to measure the corresponding length from the same starting point T, but this time to the point O, and that says it's 3.9. So the length from T to C is 11.8, and the length from T to O is 3.9. So I've got this length compared to this whole length. Now, scale factor, I'm going to call it SF for short. Sorry about the bell, is equal to the image length, 11.8, divided by the pre-image length 3.9. Now we are working in a calculator program right now. So if I click on the little calculator button right there, and then just down here at the bottom, there's a little keyboard button on the bottom left. It allows me to do this. So I'm going to type in, get that out of the way, 11.8 divided by 3.9. And you get, I hit enter, I get rid of that, and it says it right down here, right behind my buttons, it says it's equal to 3. So I'm going to then come back over here to my tools, grab my pen tool, and the scale factor is 3. And one other way I could do that, I could also have measured corresponding sides in the triangles, because that's, again, by default, how this would work as well. Trying to find my measure tools. They are right there. Measure the length. If I was to measure the length from like E to J, it says it's 9.1. From R to P, that same corresponding one is 3. Well, because of the rounding that happened, it's not exactly 3. It's a little bit more than 3, but then the length from E to J is 9.1. So go ahead and take a picture of that and upload that into your screen or into your other window there. Okay, so now I've got that put in my window. You can do question 11 and then do the think about it questions. And then last, I'm going to do dilations on the grid. So go ahead and click on that link and I will meet you in GeoGebra. Okay, so here we are. And this time we're going to do a dilation of a point. Now, the only thing that changes when we're on the grid is now I can call it point A. I can also say it has the coordinates -2, 3. But I want to look at some of the details here. So let me try to do this without selecting the wrong button. Here it goes. Okay, so the point A is going to be my pre-image. I'm going to translate that, or sorry, I'm going to transform that point by a scale factor of 2 and centered at the origin. Now remember, the origin is the point 0, 0. So I first have to put that point down so I know so I can use it. So I'm going to click on the point 0, 0. And now I have the point B. So the origin is the point B is the origin. It's the center of my dilation. Next, let me do the dilation with the transform menu. Dilate from point. I'm going to select the object. That's the pre-image, point A, and then the center point B. And then I'll say the scale factor is 2. And there's my point A prime. So one thing to recognize is that we know that the point A had the coordinates -2, 3. And now the point A prime has the coordinates -4, 6. Oops, sorry, I didn't type -4, 6. And there it is. Okay, so we also know that no matter what, whenever you're doing any kind of dilation, that it has to the object has to move on. Each point is moving on this linear path, and from the center of the dilation through the pre-image and to where the image point ends up. Okay, now the reason that these coordinates actually doubled, -2 times 2 is -4, -3 or +3 times 2 is +6, is because of two things that happened at the same time. For one, the grid itself has that as its origin. Everything is centered on the grid. Also, my dilation happened to be centered at the origin as well. That's the only reason why these coordinates actually doubled. If the center was not the origin, then the coordinates will not double. It's only when the center point is the origin that the coordinates will double. What will always happen is if we measure lengths, the distance here, if I measure the length from B to A, that's 3.6. And then the length from B to A prime is 7.2. What will always happen is when the scale factor is 2, that the length from the center to the pre-image will be half the length of the center to the image. That's what will always happen. So go ahead and take a picture of that, upload it in your document, and then go ahead and finish up the rest of those questions.